What's going on, everyone? We're back in my backyard again. About to get after another workout here. About to say we're at the end of the week. Hope everyone's still doing well and have been enjoying these workouts and everything at home. I've been seeing that people have been viewing them. A couple people even liking the videos and everything. So again, really hope that it's helping you at least come up with some ideas of what you can do at home and kind of follow a little bit of a program. So today, we're just gonna get right back into it. Gonna show you kind of everything that's going on. Again, kind of explain the exercises, a couple tips and tricks for you to switch them around however you need to make them harder, make them easier. So the first thing we're gonna do, we've got 10-yard sprints. So on Monday, we had 20-yard sprints. This time, we're going a little bit shorter. Really want you to work on that initial acceleration and everything. By this time, you should know, kind of understand how to mark out your space if you need it. Again, with these, since we're going 10 yards, think about double that space after the 10 yards to allow yourself to slow down properly. So again, we don't want those big, heavy stomps to stop ourselves. That's when we get hurt. So we're doing all of those, and then between each one, we're going about 90 seconds to 120 seconds, so a minute and a half to 2 minutes in between those reps right there, just to make sure we're giving our body plenty of time to recover so we can get back and use our full force every single time. Number two, we're gonna have Heidens with a stick at the end. I'll kind of again explain that to you, show you what I mean by that. It's gonna be 3 by 5 on each leg. So this will kind of be more of a side-to-side, a lateral movement right here. Kind of a little bit of agility. Then we're gonna get into a couple supersets and even a tricep. So we'll have a 3A and a 3B. 3A is going to be a bridge leg curl. We're trying for 3 by 8 here. Again, I'll kind of show you a couple different ways to use this one to make it easier or to make it harder. 3B will be a clap push-up, and we're going 3 by 8 with that. Now, again, with that one, there's probably some people who can't do a full clap push-up. We'll kind of switch that up too. So then we'll have 4A, which is going to be a lunge, 3 by 8 on each leg. We've got 4B, a single arm row. Is going to be a little different than the one that we did on Monday. We've got 3 by 8 on each arm with that one, and then we've got a 4C, which is going to be a suitcase carry. It's going to be 3 by 30 seconds on each side. So with those, again, it's going to go A, B, C, and then start back up at the top, run through that again 3 times. And then the finisher will be a wall sit today, 4 times. So let's get into it. We'll kind of demonstrate some things. So in front of me, I already have my 10 yards marked out, this time with 2 water bottles. Again, obviously I have a fence at the end, so not a lot of space for me to slow down. I just want to show you how I kind of marked it out. I want you to make sure that you have plenty of room at the end to decelerate with this. So again, doesn't really matter to me if you're starting standing, nice and set, getting ready to take off, making sure we're driving our legs into the ground. We should have already gone through all of our warm-up and like our sprint warm-up and everything like that. I really want you to think of with each step, trying to drive that leg back and push off the ground as hard as you can. So again, it doesn't matter kind of how you start for me, unless your coach has designated a certain starting position. So I know some of the football guys, your coach wants you starting in a 3-point position. Again, that is fine. Getting up to the line, making sure we're nice and set, and then taking off. We've got 4 of those. Again, about a minute and a half to 2 minutes rest in between those. Then once we get done, we're going to go into our Heidens with a stick. So by a stick, I don't mean you have to go find a stick and hold it in your hands while we're doing it. We're actually trying to stick the landing. So again, my balance isn't the best. I'm going to try my best right here, but we're going to the side. Again, I want you to think of kind of like with everything else, it should be opposite arm, opposite leg. So when we're sprinting, running, we're driving, swinging that opposite arm while we're driving that other leg up. So with this, I really want you to think of working on that, jumping to the side, we're trying to stick. Again, try to really hold that for a second, and then driving back over, sticking on the other side. So that's one, going over and back. That's one. We've got 5 of them on each leg. So kind of ease into this one. As you feel more comfortable with it, try to get a little more distance in between your jumps. So again, going back over, sticking, trying to really work on that landing. Again, I'm a little wobbly. So it just kind of shows you that this is one you really have to focus on, really try to think of the exercise and try to get that landing down and everything like that. Making sure that we're having a nice soft landing. Again, we shouldn't have that big stomp. It should be nice and as quiet as we can make it while sticking on that foot. So then we're gonna go to our 3 and our 3B. So our bridge leg curl and then our clap push-up. So for this, I'll kind of show you the little setup I have. We're outside right now, so it's a little tougher. This bridge leg curl actually works really well if you have a towel under your heels and you're on like a wooden floor or a tile floor in your house. So for me, this route here, I gotta go up on my little porch area right here. It's kind of smoother cement, not the most ideal, but you know, work with what you got. I've also got my little sliders here instead of like a towel or something like that. Honestly, if you have furniture sliders at home, your parents might have that, that also works out really, really well. So with this, I'm getting each one of my heels on one of the sliders. I'm going back and I'm setting up just like if I was about to do a bridge. So arms down to the side. I want to think about slightly reaching our fingertips down towards our feet, toes pulled towards our knees. Then before we even start, I want you to think of driving that core into the ground as best you can. So pushing our belly button towards the ground, towards our low back, tightening up that core, lifting your hips off the ground just a little bit, and then we're bringing our heels towards us. So I don't need you to get all the way back. I want about a 90-degree angle at the knees. And remember with this, as our feet come closer to our hips should be raising up higher. So then we're going down, trying not to let our butt touch. Driving back up, 3 by 8 of those. So to make this harder, since I'm on this cement right here, there's actually quite a bit of friction, so it's kind of difficult. A couple things you can do, and this is easy, coming up and then going nice and slow on the way down. So think about a 3-second drop. 1, 2, 3, driving back up. 1, 2, 3. If that's still really easy for you, you can go up with both legs, kick one leg out, go down. 1, 2, 3. Think about going back up. 1, 2, 3. And if that's still really easy, you can do the whole thing with just one leg. But again, we're trying to go for 8 of them. If you're doing these single legged, you might only need about 5 to 6 of them to really start to feel that. So then, I'm just gonna flip it around right here, going clap push-ups. So, again, you've done a push-up here already, trying to keep our core nice and tight. We're trying to pinch our glutes together, so keeping our butt nice and tight. Going down, exploding up, and then we're gonna add a clap if you can. So, if you don't have as much force to get up and do a clap with it, that might be all you need is that little push right there. We're leaving the ground, so then, if you wanna make it a little harder, get everything nice and tight, going down, up, and then catching ourselves. So, if both of those are too difficult for you, then I do want you to do a 3-second eccentric push-up. So what I mean by that, start up, and then 3 seconds down. 1001, 1002, 1003, driving back up. If that's too difficult, again, if you're doing the 3-second eccentric, I don't really care how you get yourself back up, as long as you're doing the 3 seconds on the way down. So, going down, 1, 2, 3. Putting our knees down, coming back up, getting reset. With those, again, I know I say 8 on these. If you're able to do the clap push-ups or the eccentrics, 5 of them, 6 of them might be fine with you, but try not to do more than 8 of them. So then we're going to go to our 4A, 4B, and 4C. So the very first thing, we got lunges. Again, 3 by 8. So with these, most of you have all done a lunge. So I really want you to think about taking a decent step outward, but don't overstride it. So what I mean, we don't want to think of our back legs super, super long. We're trying to actually keep whichever leg's in the back as we're stepping. It should almost create like a straight line going down. So from my knee up to my head, it is a straight line and going up. If you want to with this, you can do continuous ones. So if you have enough room for it, you can just kind of keep moving with them. So walking with them, trying not to let our knees slam off the ground. Up, keeping our chest tall. And then you'll notice with my front leg, I'm not letting my knee go over our toe. So our whole foot should stay flat on the ground during this one. Going chest nice and tall, foot nice and flat on the ground. Knees are not going over our toes. Am I going down, driving up, going to the other side. So we got 3 by 8 on each leg. If that is really easy for you, you can slow it down a little bit. So going, and then think about nice controlled lower, going, nice control going down. Again, this is one that if you don't have room to walk in, you can just do it in your house. So making sure we have at least enough room, like in your living room or something like that, where you can stride out just a little bit, going down, pushing yourself back up, other side going down, chest nice and tall, whole foot on the ground, knee not going over our toe, pushing back up. Again, if these are super easy for you, then we can add a little weight to it. So I've got my backpack. I only have one rock in here again. Like I say, I just want to demonstrate these for you. And with this, again, it doesn't matter to me too much if you have the backpack in front or if you're even wearing this. But if you're wearing the backpack, I will say, I like to tighten up the straps all the way for these. There, they were nice and set. And now I've added a little bit of load to it. And again, you can do these outside, inside, wherever you really want. I kind of like when I do these to keep the backpack in front, just because it really helps me prevent myself from kind of like falling down. So I get a nice tight grip. And then if I lean too far forward, that book bag will kind of drag down my chest and everything. So it kind of helps me remember to keep the chest nice and tall. Awesome. So then we'll have our single arm rows. So for today, and I've got my water jug right here. Again, this might be light for some people. You can use your backpack again, load it up with some books. Again, be smart with how much you're putting in there and make sure you're getting enough range of motion with this. So last time we were leaned over, kind of starting up a lawnmower with this, feet kind of even together. Today, I really want you to get a nice stagger stance. Try not to use the arm that doesn't have whichever weight you're using. And again, we're thinking about pulling our shoulder blades down and back, trying to put them in our pocket. And then we're really thinking about pulling that elbow back towards our hip. So think about leading with the elbow, not the hand. So driving, if you need to, hold for a second, make it a little harder, get a nice pinch in those shoulder blades, lowering it nice and slow. 3 by 8. Again, if you need a little more weight, you can load up a book bag, Again, just make sure that the straps on it are kind of shorter so that it's not just laying on the ground, trying to keep it nice and tight the whole time. Pulling up, holding for a second, and then back down. 3x8 on each arm right there. And then the last thing, I can actually keep my book bag, is going to be a suitcase carry. So if you want, this could be one where you legitimately go get a suitcase and put some weight in it, or again, you can use your backpack, water jug, milk jug, anything like that. If you have like a bucket, you can, if you really want to make it difficult, you can put some water in a bucket, or again, like some books, something like that in there. But kind of like we did on Monday with the overhead carry, now we're down to our side, so you probably can do a little more weight on this one. Think of it as a walking side plank. So down to our side, core is nice and tight. I like to, whichever hand I'm not using, I like to put that hand on my stomach to make sure my core is staying nice and tight. Stay nice and tall with this, and then nice, slow walk. So with this, we're going 30 seconds and then switching arms. So you can just kind of, as long as you can take a few steps, trying to at least get like 2 to 3 steps before turning around. Again, you can do this in your house. You can do this outside, wherever you need to. Just making sure our core is nice and tight. And I don't want to see our shoulders shrugged up to our ears. Try to keep our shoulder blades, again, pulled down and back, and keeping that nice and tight. So we're going 3 by 30 seconds with that. So with that one, you'll go A, B, C, and then start back up at A, B, C, 3 times through that little tricep right there. And then our last thing that we're gonna do is going to be a wall sit for time. So I need to find a wall really quick. Gonna come right over here. And a nice flat wall behind me. Now with these, I don't want you to just think of kind of slumping up against the wall. We're getting set, so I'm getting down. We're trying to keep our ankles right under our knees. And I don't want you to see you too low. I don't want to see you too high. We should have about a 90-degree bend right there at our knees. And then I do want you to think about, with your upper body, pushing your core into that wall. So my low back is, even though you can't really see it, it's flat up against the wall. Putting my arms there, and doing that actually really fires not just my quads, but my glutes again. So then we're just holding that for time, seeing how long we can go for, record that number down, send it to your coaches. Awesome, keep it up guys. Hope everyone's doing well. See ya.